This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.
Right, so welcome back to the Afro Perspective Podcast, episode 7. So what did I say? Yo, I'm gone, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Talk to your friend, please. So now I should talk to your friend.
Episode 7, we are discussing...
No, you can't do that.
Oh, why do we have to do... You can edit it.
No, not that good. Go on. Don't make his life hard.
Okay. Welcome back to the Afro Perspective Podcast, episode 7, where we are discussing relationships today. So, pass it over to Anton. What are we discussing on the first topic?
Alright, we're going to discuss key conversations you can have with your significant other to maybe avoid potentially... Save yourself. Alright, yeah, man.
Save yourself.
From potential heartbreak. And I'm not pretending to know the answers, but obviously, let's get into what I'm going right now.
Right. Okay.
From my perspective, when we talk about key conversations, I think before you have those key conversations, you almost need to have some non-negotiable requirements of what you understand, what you want in a person. Because that will then determine what the conversation goes like when you are looking for a partner.
At what point are we talking about these conversations?
Early days. When you say early,
I'm talking day one, because I think that
day one.
Let me explain to you why. It's age related. Okay, right. So when I was meeting somebody when I was 18, I may be looking at life a little differently to how I'm looking at life at my age now. Mm-hmm. So if I was to meet somebody now, the conversation is going to go very serious, especially if I was looking to be serious. The conversation is going to go a lot different to how it would have gone when I was 18. Mm-hmm. Mainly because of, it's not necessarily to do with my age per se, it's to do with my life experience. So I now know what I like and what I don't like. Mm-hmm. So therefore, if I see certain things
and you don't like it,
cut it from early. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that if you are a grown person and you know what you like and what you dislike, it is very important to get that out early to avoid issues and disappointment later on. Because people, let's be honest, people change a little bit, but they don't change.
Yeah, but that sounds like you're in the advanced stages when you're talking about what you like and you don't like.
No, how?
Okay. I want to try and simplify it more to the point where, let's say, I meet a girl or I'm talking to a girl, right? And the talking stage is a stage where a lot of people put emphasis on. Okay. And it's almost a deciding stage. Okay. What conversations are we having in the talking stage?
What you about?
I.e., what I'm about or whatever, right? Most of the time, the conversation about what I want from you is not omitted.
Yeah.
What you think?
You don't get it.
You think it's hidden or
it's omitted? Okay. It's almost omitted until the point
that I want it from you.
It's almost omitted to the point where it's almost a unspoken sort of thing,
which is okay, but that's wild. When you think
wild.
About it, if you stand back for a second and you think, I want this, and this from my partner.
Yeah.
But no. You're not talking about partner. We're just talking about
a little chat, a little conversation.
You're just talking.
I'm trying to peel
interaction.
I'm from the point of interaction. Okay. Right. Yeah. Because I believe that from the point of interaction, you can get a lot of clarity by making clear what you want. I.e., I just want to have fun.
Yeah, but do you say that out loud?
All right, let's get into that.
We don't say
that's the issue.
Nobody says that out loud.
Yeah, but that's the issue.
No. Let's start with that. I like that. So you'll say, no, I do. I like that. Yeah. Because as a guy being young, you may have been afraid to say that because you may be scared to lose this knowledge.
You're taking a risk right there.
Taking a massive risk. Hold on.
Because a young girl's not gonna. Yeah. A young girl.
Even though she may be on the same thing, but she doesn't want to be seen.
She wants to be seen as a good girl.
Being that way.
So do you think that women's stance on that is problematic?
I think
problematic.
It creates.
I have an issue with women's stance, period. I mean, the reason why. No, I'm gonna explain it. Wow.
All right.
And the reason I'm gonna explain it.
Can you pinch on something?
No. Well, listen good. Let me break it down.
Right.
Unfortunately for women,
Yes.
it's almost like they're not able to be themselves because of other women and societal views. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're right. So because of that, they're almost not able to say what they want. If they want, if for example, if a woman just wants fun, some of them, if you're highly confident,
Do you think that women are not upfront about when they are just interested? Yeah,
I think
no.
I think that on the whole,
let's hear what Zoya's got to say.
Yeah, go on.
I don't believe women are upfront when they go out there and say, you know what, I just want to beat and leave. I don't know. No,
I've had a very few women just come
there
out.
might be a minute few,
but
it's a minority.
What do you think about the age group of women that do that?
The 40s.
Older women.
It's always older women. Older women will tell you why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They've been through.
Put it on your toe.
Yo, older women are too aggressive. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey boy.
Because they know how life goes. Young girls are still living the fantasy.
What is the
They're in the
fantasy?
Older
fantasy
women
world,
will tell you, like, yo, this is what time it is.
Exactly.
All right. Do you think the problem is?
But that's the pedestal.
Do you think
Going back to my point.
Do you think the problem is in in women who idealize every guy that they meet to say this guy is a potential husband, so I'm going to require?
I don't think so.
What I would.
I understand that from certain cultures, but I think it's the idea of them not being seen in a certain light. I really think it's the pedestal. I feel that it's a pedestal. So that's kind of what I was getting at earlier. It's the pedestal of saying, I don't want him to think of me like that. So therefore, even if he says something that I agree with, I'm not going to agree.
It's more about self-preservation.
Precisely. Yes.
I think women lie about.
And I feel sorry, and that's why I say that's my issues with women. I feel like you're almost put in a position where you have to lie. It's wild.
Do you think that women are put in a position that they have to lie?
Not have to.
I think other women, and they like to blame men, but I actually think no, hold on.
Yeah, they like to blame men.
I actually think it's other women that
friend
put them in, because you'll have women that are women's best friends, and they will not tell their girlfriend about some of the stuff that they are going on with, because they're going to be judged by that said
friend.
female.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean,
That's
I get it from the friend's perspective, but between you and them, right?
Yeah.
A woman can be straight up and just say, "Yo, you know what? I just want some fun.
Yeah.
I just want some regular."
Although I do think that's coming more and more regular every day. I think with women's
this day and age.
Yeah, I think with 2020,
You think women are more liberated?
way
doing
more
that?
liberated.
And do
20
you
years
think?
I can't be saying things like, I don't do this.
She got caught slipping sleeping the other day.
Hold on, no. But in her lyrics, I don't cook, I don't clean.
Yeah.
Let me show you how I get this ring, right? So she's basically euthanizing. Yo, these are the things that I do, and I think that allows women to be more confident in other areas,
right?
That they may not have been confident in, but they may have wanted. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure how we got here, but
I think there's the element of women not being upfront. About that, and then there's another element of a lot of women get into interactions with men, and they go they go into interactions in a blinkered sort of fashion, in a blinkered way, tunnel vision.
Elaborate.
So if they interact with a guy, he's going to have to offer them this, and it's going to have to amount to something, and it doesn't amount to something,
then it's a problem.
It's a problem. The guy has got to have done something wrong or whatsoever, or is not good enough. And then,
so again, it goes back to what I said earlier, and it's your requirements. So what did you expect from that scenario?
So you never had the conversation.
You never had the conversation, and I think a lot of guys get away
and also by not having the conversation with that. Yeah, a lot of guys get away with it.
I've done it.
She's not set her boundaries. She's not set what she wanted or not wanted.
Listen, if you do not say clearly what you want, I am going to run with this, and then when you come back to me, no, it's a fact, because as a guy, I know what I want from this scenario, and I'm getting it. And then when you come and say, but I thought,
that was a thought.
You never said that like that.
All right, do you think that women use sex as leverage?
Yes.
And do you think that the way that they use sex as leverage almost creates this dynamic where
gonna get some comments.
They're holding
Leverage for.
leverage for. All right, a guy is trying.
Yeah.
Right. It's almost as if women create an endpoint where
That's the end
you've
point,
got
innit?
to prove to me that you're worthy, etc., etc., before we get to the point of sex.
Okay.
So you find a lot of situations where a girl's been talking to a guy,
Right.
blah blah blah. Especially, it goes back to the whole argument of if you make a guy wait, you know, a guy will wait for 3 months. He will open doors. Yeah,
Steve Harvey in his book commentary again.
Steve Harvey's got you food out here.
right. So a guy will do the 90 days,
He'll be on his best behavior.
and he'll get the beat and
And then all of a sudden he disappears.
suddenly disappear.
What was the point in the 90 days?
And that's because that's the danger of sort of using sex as leverage.
Right.
Yes, 100%. I think people need to be more upfront with what they want. I think it's literally as simple as that. If you are more upfront with what you want, then it will make your life easier. And I understand that if you speak to, and I don't want to speak for women,
Yeah.
I am not a woman, right? But I have a lot of female friends, and they're always like, oh, I don't want to scare the guy off by saying.
This is a.
And likewise, guys are the same. Like, there's certain things that we want that we don't necessarily say because we know that it could jeopardize our scenario.
Yes.
You understand? Mm-hmm. I'm not going to go on.
Do you think that women sort of, before looking into a man's morals and ideals and everything, they start looking
That's an intellectualizer, you know. Go on.
Yeah, they start looking for more in a guy before they've even looked at that. So if me and you are interacting,
Right.
instead of just looking at it as, oh, you know what, this could just be a beat, they're looking for qualities. They're looking for
What look at quality beat or just quality man?
qualities.
Quality before you have the good beat. What's wrong with you?
It's almost like they sort of.
Do they put their own?
I think they're analysing it. Women are smart, yeah? Women are smarter than men in this scenario, so they're analysing you the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a fact.
But what we're trying to focus on here is what can you say
Yes.
to avoid heartbreak. And what you can say is what
You want.
And I think that females, here's the issue for me. Women are said to be the best communicators in the world, but they still struggle to communicate with men.
You keep coming back to this.
They struggle
No,
to communicate
listen to
with anything that might upset their ideals.
Yeah. And it's going to upset your ideas a lot of the time because, as Steve Harvey would say,
Because I think
a lot of them are not for you.
certain women take every interaction with a guy as, which I understand. Every girl has to hold some sort of dignity to themselves, right?
Facts,
So every time a girl interacts with a guy, it's almost like, to some girls it's nothing, it's just a beat. But to some girls it's a
rare.
big deal.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
That's understandable.
So that girl that looks at every interaction as a big deal, it's like, it's almost like they put their feelings forward, because me giving you a chance, even though you are just a random pick out of a million guys,
Yeah.
you've got to satisfy these ideals that I'm looking for.
Yeah, but do you?
Half of the time, probably.
But some women don't understand that. For me,
The amount of compromise that I've seen. Again, I'm gonna say this from
Doesn't
an
everybody
outsider
compromise?
perspective. No, let me explain to
Okay.
you. There's certain things I'm not compromising on. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how fine you are. It doesn't matter if you look like Beyonce. If you don't
E.g.
fit in this box, you're not getting
Into what?
into a relationship.
Right.
Yeah, you
Right.
can get into other things.
I get into
It is what it is. Yeah, you can get into it, but you're not getting into the relationship box. So, as we were talking about heartbreak here, we have to talk about relationships.
That's it.
I think that's where it's funny.
That's the mix of it.
the line.
Alright.
That's the blur line.
No,
Because
here's
a
the
lot
thing.
of people don't
Go
say
on.
whether.
No, that's the issue. No, you got it. Say it.
A lot of people don't say whether or not it's going to be a relationship or not.
Thank you.
No, but here's the thing.
Thank you.
I don't know
How
what
many-
it is.
No.
Maybe,
How many
maybe.
situationships
It's a
happen?
that is a
Yeah,
situation.
and then somebody catches feelings, and then all of a sudden it's a problem. You didn't come from the outright and say, "Yo, this is going somewhere."
No, but here's the thing.
Go on.
It's funny because women hold the leverage where sex is concerned,
To a degree.
and
Right.
men hold the leverage where marriage and
Oh,
relationships are concerned.
100%.
And then, but women are looking for
It's
marriage.
like after you've bust the box,
Men
it's
are
like,
looking for
okay,
sex.
now what?
Now what?
Am I gonna
This
make you?
is the issue. This is the issue. Now what?
It's funny because, you know, women will literally make you work whatever, And then eventually, you know, and this is not every woman, but when she opens up Pandora's box, that's when she asks the question.
I didn't say that. I said Pandora's box. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, that's happened to me a number of times.
So
It's like, yo, how are you asking me after?
Yeah, like, okay, now that I'm open Pandora's box.
Now you don't have any cards left.
So, so you know, it's that question where you lay down
It's
and
a bad deal, isn't it?
you lay down and you're relaxed in it. So
what are we?
So what are we then? So what are we doing then?
We're doing a ting. What does the ting mean?
That question. So the serious questions come after coitus.
But they shouldn't. So to avoid, listen. Okay.
That's
point number one.
Yes.
Serious questions should come before sexual intercourse.
No, but here's the thing. I think it's a double-edged sword.
No, it's not.
Men do not pose. Men are not upfront about what they want.
Which is just.
Do you know why?
I just want.
Do you know why?
Why?
So
because they don't want to jeopardize their chances. Likewise, a woman is not going to say.
She don't want to jeopardize her chances of
before I open Pandora's box.
Okay, but a lot of this is immature because, as you say, you're trying not to jeopardize your chances. But if that person is for you, you are not going to jeopardize your chance. That is the issue that a lot of people have, and I'm only saying this from an age perspective. If that person is for you. You asking about these questions, these serious questions, it's not going to jeopardize your chance of getting with that person.
Okay, that which brings us to the.
You understand what I'm saying?
Which brings us to the point that a lot of our decision making, where relationships and dating are concerned, are primarily based on sex and sexual interaction.
That's a problem. I'm not gonna lie. As a man, I'm still gonna say that's a problem because if you're basing that on sex, like after the sex,
it's like okay.
Now what? You don't try
it's based
to
on
spin me down now.
Yeah, it's based on thrills. It's based on immediate sort of gratification rather than.
And also, don't switch on me. You can't switch on me.
Switch. What do you mean switch? Saying what?
So hold on a second. So
you're a certain way
as a male and female, you've been talking. You've been cool this whole time.
Yes.
Yeah? You get into a scenario where
entanglement.
Where entanglement is perfect. You get into your entanglement, and then. A month
now
into
what?
Entanglement,
Somebody
you want to
told me that I didn't have my car.
Yeah, fine, man. Anyway,
was there. So we get
into entanglement.
Really, Yolanda?
And then I started. Anyway, you get into entanglement, and then you want to try and change up the rules. That don't make sense.
You're not getting it anymore.
You don't have the leverage again. You don't have the leverage no more.
You can't even say to a man, "Oh, you don't get it."
The leverage was there before.
Potentially,
so you have
because
a lot of leverage.
As Steve Harvey would say, the guy is interested in what you have, and do you know what? As a man, I can't even deny that. It is what it is. But you can't then. Well, you can try and switch it up, but it's not going to work for you the majority of the time. Because the guy's going to be like, "Well, I've got everything I want already. Why would I then switch it up? For what?" Mm-hmm. So it depends on what you want from the scenario. So if you want to have a good time as a female or as a male, it is important that you lead with that.
The good time,
especially now in 2020 because we're a lot more honest.
Yeah, but
we are a lot more honest.
Do you think that women can partake in casual activities and still hold their dignity?
Do you think that?
Some can, to a degree.
Why?
Do you think that some can't because some are
no. When I say hold their dignity, a lot of women are worried. For example, a lot of women might see a guy that they like, but they're not going to approach him or they're not going to put it on his toes and say, you know what, yeah, I just want to give you...
Because they want to be seen as fast.
Yeah, they don't want to be seen as...
Fast. Fast is the word.
As men, do you see that as being fast?
When you're young, no.
What do you mean?
When you're not used to that level of honesty,
it can
be a bit like...
It can be a little aggressive.
Yeah.
And as a male, you're not used to females being aggressive. This is what. Going back to my very first point about females, it's one of those ones where we have a pedestal and women are not meant to act a certain way, which is wild.
It's crazy.
So they're not allowed to act.
Is it about men or is that society?
That's society. It's nothing to do with men.
Yeah.
It might have been to do with men initially, but it's not to do with us. Like in the room, like I have not told a woman she can't act aggressively or talk to a guy.
In a certain way
and actually shoot your shot. I don't have an issue with a girl shooting a shot. Like in 2020, why would I care about that? But women kind of a lot of women I think especially young women.
No, I think us men we're very capable of distinguishing between a girl that has loose morals and a girl that has that has good morals,
I get it. Right.
You say that, but enough man get bun. So what you mean?
No, yeah, but bun is a whole different podcast.
Yeah.
My point is, right? You can have two girls move to you,
Yeah.
right? And you can distinguish between a girl that's doing it because
Facts.
it's something that she does on a regular, and she's just looking for another guy to
body count.
Yeah.
Up it. Right?
You're right, Nisha.
And then you can tell a girl that she could have been single for a whole year. She's out with her friends. She sees you. She likes you. And she thinks, you know what? Yeah, let me take my chance.
On face value though.
You can't differentiate on face value, but you can differentiate through conversation.
That's why conversation is important. Okay, so point two. No, we like that. Point two is regular conversation. Mm-hmm. So because you through conversation you are going. Nobody can.
There's a lot of dead conversations. There's a lot.
So dead conversation is not for you. That's the point.
There's a lot.
No. Dead conversation is irrelevant because if you're having a conversation with someone and it's dead, then you don't need to go any further.
When I was younger, I would try and sort of keep the conversation going just to get to the end point.
But in your but what I'm trying to say is now, being a wiser man, if you were to be in that situation again ever, then you would know that this conversation
is not for me. So
you know what you want. You know where it's going.
If the conversation's dead like this,
around in a circle, it's
what we're gonna be like when we chill. Do you know what I mean? It's like I ain't got time for that.
Listen,
some people
I can't
right
have
in real
dead
life.
conversation with my future. Like whoever my person is B or whatever, I can't have that.
Again, that goes into the relationship box. You know what you want.
Yeah, but if it's not in a relationship, again, I'll specify. If it's not in a relationship box, I don't want to hear nothing about heartbreak.
I think. All right. I think another thing that causes
you're deluded.
Facts.
All right.
I think another thing that causes problems is the fact that a lot of people do not know their ideals.
That's a fact. That's another fact.
Yeah, but that's
a lot of people don't know.
It's hard if you're young
and
easy if you're old.
Which is why it's probably advisable to not engage in nothing serious until you have the maturity. How many couples
are...
God.
Alright, Anton.
Youngsters are mature when they're young, right?
Alright, Charlene. Had you gotten
with, alone is not enough.
Had you gotten
yes.
Alright, had you gotten with your childhood sweetheart at 16 and at your tender age of 37 now?
Once at 37, you're rude.
Carry on with a flipping conversation, brother.
Tanash, someone get bucked on the podcast.
Tender age.
Man's a tender age of 37. Wow.
Continue.
But yeah, at your age now, had you stayed with the same person,
you'd outgrow them though.
You'd not even necessarily outgrown,
or just grow different,
but grown in different directions. Yeah. Right?
Even when you're young, you know you're going to grow apart from this person. You know it's not going anywhere.
I didn't know that when I was young. I know it now.
Yeah, because when you're young, you idealize things.
When you understand, I was young, dumb.
Yeah, but when you're young, you're not predisposed to be thinking to yourself. You're looking at this person and you're thinking, this is the best thing.
All right, well,
like with anything that you do, we take up hobbies. We love them. Like I'm a DJ. Right, and I love music.
And you didn't drop it though.
But what I know is there's gonna be a time when I'm going to have to. Do you know what I mean? And I'm preparing myself for that. I'm preparing myself for the exit. I'm not trying to be that guy that's trying to play records at 70 when there's young youths bossing up the place. Now I'm getting mad at these young youths because people love these young youths and I've been in the business. Do you know what I mean? I don't want that. I want to grow.
I hear you.
So I believe that you formulate and you discover your ideals through interactions with different people. So serial monogamy.
So are you saying that men that have dated a lot of different women and have interacted with a lot more women know their ideal more than the odd few that have dated 2-3 women?
No, this goes in both directions.
Okay, men and women then.
Yeah. So do you think you need to date a lot to understand your ideals?
You don't necessarily need to date.
I don't think so.
You don't necessarily need to date a lot, but at the same time,
I think you need to have some dating experience.
Dating experience is like any
job experience,
isn't it?
You can't go to a job and
you need to understand that.
From many perspectives.
You went with John as a female. You went with John, and John's
the only one you know,
and you didn't like that. So you know, said that when you go in your next relationship that you know what? Yeah,
Okay.
it's that.
And it's understanding.
Yeah.
All right, then. It even goes down to things like sex.
Yeah.
Different people have different sort of ideals.
Views on what happens.
Do you understand?
Regularity.
Everything.
Now, if
Every
you
blood clot.
on
Yeah.
it's almost like, but then it goes against, because we come from another generation where some of our parents, like my parents, have been together since they were probably 16 and 18.
Really?
Yeah, my mum's been with my dad since she was 17. Like it's mad.
It's mad.
Young loves and then
Ever, like forever.
But don't get it twisted. Like that generation, as long as
they got issues.
they've got their issues. They've got the
But they've been
underlying.
together forever.
there's a lot of like side children where that generation is concerned.
This guy did not say that on this podcast. I can't even now show you.
You realise that every time someone says something off, I
thanks,
like
mate.
dig my ears out. I'm like, I don't want to hear.
No, but you get what I mean. Like,
I
we're
get
being
it.
honest. We're being honest, right?
Yes.
In their generation, they still
Realize.
did their thing.
Yeah.
I
Regardless.
think they were more
They're more likely to stay with each other.
Would they
regardless
stay with
of
each
what
other
happens.
or-
Fantasized with the idea of the relationship, but still had issues.
still had issues.
Well, I think in 2020,
Where family
people are
values are
liberal.
diminished.
People are liberal. People are liberal in 2020. So I think if you were to avoid heartbreak in 2020,
You need to have conversations.
you need to
It's
have
what we're basically saying.
Yeah, communication is key, and I hate that it sounds so
Cliche, but it is a fact.
It's a fact. And when I say communication is key, important communication is key. So when you're saying I like this, and this, but I don't like this, it's important for people to have honest communication with
You
each
can't
other.
be having conversations about your favorite color at life. 23.
Yeah, the fact that you
I don't care what
music.
music. Okay, music is important for me, FYI. But we can't just be talking about music.
Do you
and
think
colors.
that women's inability to... Alright, let me redress.
Wow.
Come again?
Let me redress
They're
it.
gonna set you on fire,
Right.
you know.
Do you
Inability.
think guys would be more honest if women were more willing to accept honesty? I.e., if I was to turn around to
That's a hard one.
because here's the thing.
Go again.
Here's the thing.
I got an
Keep
answer
going.
for you.
Right.
I got an answer for you.
There's instances where a guy can meet a girl, he just wants a beat, she just wants a beat,
But she can't say it. That's
he
kind of what I was going
can't
to earlier.
She can't say it.
She
and
can't say it.
If he says it, it's almost a negative,
Yeah.
even though they
Why
both
you-
want the same thing.
Yeah. My girl, I've seen you. I like how you look.
So a lot of entanglements come from miscommunication rather than a guy just being.
It's from miscommunication and lack of honesty
Yes.
It's not even. It's lack of honesty. But
on the woman's part.
Again, that goes back to my very first point about the pedestal scenario. You shouldn't be able to speak to me like that, because even though I want that,
I'm not
I
gonna
should be
say I
seen
want
as
that.
this. You understand? And it's literally that. I think a lot of issues come from that. But in 2020, I'd hope that. No, I'm serious.
Not just
because
20, yeah,
no,
yeah.
going forward now, okay, let's be honest. We are the most liberal we've ever been as a people, and that's whether you're black, white, Asian, Chinese.
I think
Yeah.
the liberalism kind of goes into the next topic that we're going to be talking.
Yeah. We can roll straight
on,
into that.
carry
But we
on.
are about as liberal as I've ever seen. Now, if the stuff we're talking about in our music videos now, because that's a good way to measure it.
Yeah.
Okay, when anyone says. If you go back 20 years, the stuff that they were talking about there that was liberal doesn't even touch the stuff we're talking about now. Think about it. Like I heard a dancehall video the other day, and not even the other day, yesterday, and she said, and I quote, "Yeah, I see you look at my friend. Me and you can take her to the room as well." You understand? And I'm listening to the lyrics like, wait, so she's saying you're my man,
But we
you
can have a
You can
threesome.
also
With your friend.
with
With her friend.
with her friend. I'm like.
What year?
When did we get
how old
here?
was-
Now, as raw as Lady Saw was,
Oh, this was.
yeah, as raw as Lady Saw was in the 90s, you didn't hear anything remotely like that.
Yeah, but she was always seen as very wayward, though. She was always seen as that dancehall artist. Like,
Okay, that was
what is wrong with her?
That was when Dancer was exhibiting the height of hypocrisy, because that shit was happening. Let's move on to the next topic.
Are we cutting it?
Yeah.
30. Are we doing 30?
This is the Afro Perspective Podcast, the home of over-opinionated young voices.